So as we commemorate Women's Month, we look at women's experiences in different spaces of society. The story of Morwesi Theledi is one that reminds us of temptations of life. She was a bank supervisor at a well-known South African bank before succumbing to the allure of easy money. She was sentenced to 10 years in jail for fraud and learned her lesson. Morwesi is now fighting for a good cause and so released from prison. She joins us now to share her experiences. A very good afternoon to you, Morwesi, and thank you very much for joining us here on SABC News.
Hi, thank you for the invite.
Just as a start, I mean, let's talk about how, you ended up getting involved in fraud and I suppose you had a very good job in a bank and all of that. Why did you feel you had to, or what tempted you to get into this life of crime as what it is?
I was approached by a huge syndicate to defraud the bank. At first, I said no. The love of money and the love of finer things in life got me closer and closer to these guys. They gave me tips, shopping vouchers. The list is endless. When these guys demanded me to transfer 2.7 million rand and 300,000 aside, I refused. The fact that I had already taken the tips, I had to submit, under their threat. My last threat was on the 24th of December 2009. They were outside my house looking at my child while he was playing. They gave me a call and said to me, if I don't transfer the funds immediately, they were going to kill my child. Losing my child was not an option. I went to the system, transferred 2.7 million rand and 300,000 aside. After an hour, I felt guilty. I went back to the system, transferred 2.7, increasing the money actually to 27 million rand. That was the biggest mistake of my life. I got arrested. I was detained at Monjo Police Station. While detained at Monjo Police Station, one of the guys walked in dressed like a lawyer. He said to me, if I point any one of them, if I tell the cops the truth, they were going to kill my child. Losing my child was not an option. I chose to lie. I chose not to point those guys out. Yeah. By so doing, I got a 10-year sentence. Each and every court appearance, they sat right behind my family. I was scared to tell the truth. I had everything a girl my age could have dreamed of. My parents took me to school, got a national diploma in journalism. I had the best position ever in the best company. But look at where I am today. Yeah. I've got a criminal record. I've got a stigma.
Yeah, and talk to us about how, after, you've now paid your debt to society, and I think I should make that quite clear at this point. What was that experience for you? And I suppose as you sat in that jail cell, you had to do a lot of thinking and a lot of, introspection, and also what you plan to do as soon as you get out. And how long were you actually in prison? I mean, I know the sentence was 10 years, but how long were you actually sitting in jail? And what are the kind of things that you thought about while you were in there?
I served 6.5 years in prison, 2 years awaiting trial, 4.5 years in my sentence. I got arrested 2010 and got my sentence 2012. I was released 33 June 2016. So I'm 4 years outside. During my incarceration was when I got arrested, I was pregnant. I gave birth in prison, and when I got separated with my boy after 2 years, I decided to change my life to become a different offender. I was an inspiration to other offenders. I became a celebrity in prison. I got Best Actress Award in prison, Best Public Speaker in prison. And when I got a year before my release, I asked myself a question, Jorge, how am I going to survive outside? Yeah. Then I came up with an idea of registering my own company, of going back to the banking industries, going back to financial institutions. I registered my own company, Ukozi Solutions. Ukozi means inspiration. Its primary focus is to deal with corruption, bribery, fraud, and theft in a workplace. But I deal with work ethics. How important is it to love your job? How important is it to respect your job? Because if you don't love and respect your job, you are not going to be productive in what you are doing.
Yeah.
So that's what currently I am doing.
Yeah, you've been out for 4 years now, and I think the majority of people who come out of correctional services say that there is a huge difficulty in being reintegrated into society as a functional and good member of society. It seems as though you've managed to do so, and I mean, as a woman, it must have been even more difficult, in fact, than it would have been for a man. Take us through that process, that reintegration into society, and being able to do the kind of work that you're currently doing.
I was actually privileged to do media interviews while I was still serving time. And I remember my first interview was with SABC News. And at that time, the minister was Nosiviwe Ngakula. They were revamping the mother and baby section. I was asked to cover my face, and I said, I'm not going to do that. I want young women to learn from my story, to learn from the mistake that I did. I didn't cover my face. As of that day, I remember the communications department, they chose me to do the media interviews. So definitely the society knew Morwesi, she's in prison. When I came out, I reintegrated myself positively so by doing positive things.
Yeah. What do you say now to women? And, this is the struggle of today, young women of today. There are many who want to make money quickly. And, what's in fashion now is the flashy lifestyle, the bags, the designer shoes, these overseas trips, all these extravagant things that aren't necessarily, blood, sweat and tears, but people wanting money relatively quickly. What's your advice to women like that? I mean, we've spoken to a number of women who got into, drug trafficking because of wanting, money very quickly. What is your advice to a woman who might be tempted or sitting in a position where you were before you got incarcerated? I mean, there are many young women out there who don't understand what the consequences of this fast money, fast life can actually be.
Finer things in life, you need to work hard for it. Everything that you want in life, you have to work hard for it. There's no easy cash or easy money or quick cash. There's no such. You have to work for each and everything that you want. Being content with what you have, it's very important. Accepting your salary, it's very important. And if you want quick things and finer things in life, corruption and crime is not an option. You have to work hard for everything. We need to go to school, actually, as women. We need to empower ourselves. You need to be able to get out and work for each and everything that you want in life.
Yeah. All right. Morwesi, thank you so very much for chatting to us and being so open and honest about your experiences. That's Morwesi Theledi, who's a businesswoman who had been incarcerated for fraud for some time. Thank you, Morwesi.